Today, we're heading to the island of Bohol in the Philippines. In the Philippines, not all kids get to go to school and learn, especially if they have a disability. And a disability that a lot of kids have in the Philippines is deafness. Being deaf means you aren't able to hear. So when you hear cars honking their horns, or your teachers talking in school, kids who are deaf can't hear that. Deaf kids may not be able to hear with their ears, but they can talk and listen with their hands. Deaf people can use something called sign language. Sign language turns special hand motions into different words. How cool is that? Thankfully, in the Philippines, a group of people started a school just to help deaf kids get an education. They teach classes in sign language so everyone can learn and communicate. The school director found out that a little boy named John wanted to join their school, so he went out looking for him.
So he went looking for John and his father. We went over to a little bakery by the highway, and we told him we're looking for the father of the little deaf boy. That's all we knew. And a guy named Jojo showed up. And a young man who was very open and very interested in us trying to help his son John into school. And so we asked if we could meet John. So he took us around the back of the bakery. Jojo has 3 little girls and John, the little boy. And they all sleep inside this garbage pile. My heart went out to these little kids.
Finally, he found John.
There he is. Hi.
Even though he couldn't hear, John was very happy to see them. The school even donated new clothes for John to wear. I think he likes them. Even though John had never used sign language before, he learned it very quickly.
John is now in school, in art school in Loon.
We just found him last Saturday, and it's really very fast. This morning, when he just arrived in the office, we show him the dorm where he will stay. We introduce him to his new teachers, and the teachers were also very helpful, and introduce him to his classmates.
Then his classmates teach him some sign language. We made a sign name for him. He is very happy now that he is going to school.
It seemed like he showed willingness and interest in his study.
Isn't it amazing to see how John communicates with his teachers and how they hear him through his hands? In the Bible, the book of Psalms tell us, "I love the Lord because he hears my voice and my prayer for mercy."
Johnny's only been in school for a couple months, and he already knows a lot of sign language, communicates really well. What is this thing right here? What's this? A tree, right. And then what's one of these? Tree, leaf. Leaf, yeah. Or you see a boat out there, right. Right. So he's learning all the words very fast, 2 months. There's no crab there. Out there, little. There. Yeah, there's the crab there. See him?
John doesn't say words like we do, but God hears everything he says. God is listening to you too, whether you speak out loud or whisper a prayer in your heart. God hears you. You are treasured.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Vacation Bible School Day 2 lesson, God Hears You. Today we are going over a story from the book of 1 Samuel about David escaping the clutches of King Saul and him writing songs to God. Saul was the first ever king of Israel, but he did wrong in the eyes of God and did not obey his commands. Therefore, the prophet Samuel went to Jesse to tell him that his son David would be anointed the next king of Israel after Saul's reign. Now David did good in the eyes of the Lord. He was obedient, he was faithful to the king Saul, and he fought bravely for his people and defended the holy name of God against Goliath and the Philistines. David found favor in the eyes of the Lord. Saul, jealous of David's popularity with the people, kept David and his men on the run. But David repeatedly resisted opportunities to harm Saul in spite of the danger he faced daily. Not only did David have to flee from his own king, but he also chose to fight his people's enemies, the Philistines, at the same time. Now we'll read from 1 Samuel 23, verses 1 through 14. When David was told, "Look, the Philistines are fighting against Keilah and are looting the threshing floors," he inquired of the Lord, saying, "Shall I go and attack these Philistines?" The Lord answered him, "Go, attack the Philistines and save Keilah." But David's men said to him, "Here in Judah we were afraid. How much more then if we go to Keilah against the Philistine forces?" Once again David inquired of the Lord, and the Lord answered him, "Go down to Keilah, for I am going to give the Philistines into your hand." So David and his men went to Keilah, fought the Philistines, and carried off their livestock. He inflicted heavy losses on the Philistines and saved the people of Keilah. Now Abiathar, son of Ahimelech, had brought the ephod down with him when he fled to David at Keilah. Saul was told that David had gone to Keilah, and he said, God has delivered him into my hands, for David has imprisoned himself by entering a town with gates and bars. And Saul called up all his forces for battle to go to Keilah and to besiege David and his men. When David learned that Saul was plotting against him, he said to Abiathar the priest, "Bring the ephod." David said, "Look, God of Israel, your servant has heard definitely that Saul plans to come to Keilah and destroy the town on account of me. Will the citizens of Keilah surrender me to him? Will Saul come down as your servant has heard? Lord God of Israel, tell your servant." And the Lord said, "He will." Again David asked, "Will the citizens of Keilah surrender me and my men to Saul?" And the Lord said, "They will." So David and his men, about 600 in number, left Keilah and kept moving from place to place. When Saul was told that David had escaped from Keilah, he did not go there. David stayed in the wilderness strongholds and in the hills of the desert of Ziph. Day after day Saul searched for him, but God did not give David into his hands. Now scholars are unsure exactly how long David ran from Saul. However, some historians estimate it to be a whole 7 years. During that time, David had countless reasons to call out to God in desperation, triumph, sorrow, and loneliness. Since some Psalms don't tell who the author is, it's unclear how many David wrote. However, Bible scholars believe the Shepherd King wrote at least 73 and possibly more of the 150 songs in the book of Psalms. And now I'm going to read to you Psalm 86, which was believed to have been written by David during this time. It says, "Hear me, Lord, and answer me, for I am poor and needy. Guard my life, for I am faithful to you. Save your servant who trusts in you. You are my God. Have mercy on me, Lord. For I call to you all day long. Bring joy to your servant, Lord, for I put my trust in you. You, Lord, are forgiving and good, abounding in love to all who call you. Hear my prayer, Lord. Listen to my cry for mercy. Among the gods there is none like you, Lord. No deeds can compare with yours. All the nations you have made will come and worship before you, Lord. They will bring glory to your name. For you are great and do marvelous deeds. You alone are God. Teach me your way, Lord, that I may rely on your faithfulness. Give me an undivided heart that I may fear your name. I will praise you, Lord my God, with all my heart. I will glorify your name forever. For great is your love toward me. You have delivered me from the depths, from the realm of the dead. Arrogant foes are attacking me, O God. Ruthless people are trying to kill me. But they have no regard for you. But you, Lord, are a compassionate and gracious God, slow to anger, abounding in love and faithfulness. Turn to me and have mercy on me. Show your servant strength in behalf of you. Save me because I serve you just as my mother did. Give me a sign of your goodness, that my enemies may see it and be put to shame, for you, Lord, have helped me and comforted me. Now, I was your age once, and I know sometimes you might feel ignored and unheard. I know sometimes it might seem like your parents don't have enough time for you, or your teachers don't pay you enough attention, or you might be having difficulty expressing how you feel to the adults in your life. But I'm here to tell you that God's gift is that He hears everything you say to Him. God treasures all of us and is eagerly awaiting a conversation with you. God hears not only our voices, but also our hearts. So be sure you talk to God because He is listening. We love you guys and have a wonderful day.
Day 2 of Imagination Station will be full of joyful noise as kids use singamabobs to learn about how sound travels through something called vibration energy. Here's how to make those gizmos sing. Loop your index fingers through each hoop. Leave a small amount of slack and then spin the singamabob rapidly to wind it up. Then gently pull the loops apart. As you get into a rhythm, your singabob will start to whistle. As kids experiment with their singamabobs, they'll be reminded that whether they're whispering a prayer, shouting from a rooftop, or singing their favorite VBS song, God hears them and cherishes every sound they make.